Hi everyone. Just waiting for YouTube to go live. Hi everyone. Welcome to Center of Balance. I'm the fertility acupuncturist. Today our topic is fertility cycle. Hi Veronica. Oh yeah, it's very sad that our cat actually passed away yesterday morning, so I couldn't do the live video. Yeah, thank you for asking. Thank you for your love and care. Thank you. So yeah, so it's not a good day in the last 2 days for our family because everyone's so sad about your cat passing away. Yeah, that's very sad. Okay. We buried her in our garden actually, just beside our house. She had cancer and is not eating and can't pee, and she pee and she got blood in it. Yeah, and she couldn't move properly yesterday morning. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Luana. Thank you very much for your care. Yeah, my daughter and my wife quite a lot. Yeah, still very sad. But she had a good life because SPCA in our country here, which is collecting a lot of animals that people don't want to, and that cat's been in SPCA for 6 months and no one wants her because it's a very scary cat, like scared of anything. And she was picked up from an old lady house with some dead cat because that old lady didn't feed her, didn't, and a very bad environment. And in winter, there's no warm thing for them, and some of them die and not feeding them. So so an SPCA rule is if no one adopt those kids, they will put them to sleep. So we went there, and my daughter just picked her up and said, "Well, we want her," just like that. Yeah. So in the last 8 or 9 years, she with us, So at least, it will she may be gone, put to sleep 9 years ago, but we had her ever since. Yeah, sad, isn't it? But anyway, today, because I only had about 10 to 15 minutes to go to our topic, so I'm sorry that I wasn't able to do a live yesterday morning. So thank you for your understanding and for all your care and love. Thank you. But we thought she's rest in peace now and not suffering, and yeah, something like that. But we'll go over to it. Yeah. Thank you very much for all your care. So okay, fertility cycle. So we need to understand the fertility cycle, and we need to understand what it's called as fertile windows, right? Fertile, because we need to find out the ovulation, right? Because you want to fall pregnant, you need to know how to calculate and what's the sign of ovulation. For some people, you don't have to know, because they get pregnant easily, and there's no issue. They don't need to understand this thing. But who need to understand this? Okay, first, if you can't get pregnant, if you have fertility issues, then you need to know when is your ovulation time, ovulation period. Okay, fertility cycle. Um, Fertile windows. Now, if you're a practitioner, not all of them you need to know that. If you're an acupuncturist, you're only treating pain. If you're a family doctor, you only see general health. You know, in the Chinese medicine, you prescribe herbs to everyone, but you're not specialized in fertility field. Like we are fertility acupuncturists, then we need to know this thing because you need to share with your patient. You need to tell your patient when is the best time for conceive. You know, so this become important topic. Okay, we talk about fertility cycle and what we put it down fertile window. So the fertile window is women are most fertile around the time that they ovulate. Well, that makes sense. So tracking your ovulation and then concentrating your sexual activity around this time can improve your chance of conceiving. That makes sense, right? Now, then you need to understand ovulation. When does it actually happen? So it's only happen one day out of the month. Or that is because if we are talking about your cycle, it's normal. You get 28 days or even 30, 32 days regular. Right? Well, you may not be ovulate one day out of a month if you miss your period. You know, if you suffer from PCOS, you only get your period once every few months. So it's very less chance that you get ovulation every month, right? So we actually tracking the period. So when is period is the day that you get your bleeding. That's day one, right? Until the next time you get your period, right? That should be 28 days in between. And that's a normal cycle, a perfect cycle, right? But of course, not everyone get perfect cycle. But yeah, they do. People get 28 days, quite a lot of them, right? So at this ovulation time, right, your ovaries release a mature egg, which begin to travel through your fallopian tubes. You know, if the egg encounters meet the sperm during its journey, fertilization can occur. And eggs in when an egg and sperm meet together, we call fertilize, yeah, fertilization. Egg keep going, move to the uterus and implant under the lining. Okay, so the fertilize if the eggs did not fertilize but did not meet the sperm, or it did meet the sperm around it, but it can't go through and meet the eggs. The eggs will actually die within 24 hours. Doesn't make sense. So the life of the eggs is but 24 hours. So, but however, the sperm, it can live up to 5 days within a woman's body. It is true, right? But I have to tell you, if you Google it, and when I was in medical school, and my mind was about 48 hours or 72 hours. This is in our textbooks. And then, but in some textbook or some sources you can find online, it say up to 5 days. So we know it's about 48 hours to 5 days. So they are conditioned. What sort of condition? The cervical mucus, in the woman body, the cervical mucus is important. It creates an environment for sperm to stay alive. So if it's, and of course um, the sperm, whether there's been old already, or how active are they, and that all need to be taken as a consideration. You need to take those in mind to make sure how long they will survive. But normally we say about 28 hours, I don't know, 48 hours to 5 days, 2 days to 5 days. So the fertile windows, if we count it as 28 days of your cycle, then day 1, and then 5 days, your period of 4 days, until day 14, you get ovulation. You ovulate on day 14, and after 14 days, you get your period. Right? We all know that. But if your period cycle is 32 days, then you won't be ovulate on day 14. Okay. Then we have to go back with 22 less 14, and that is 18, day 18. Day 18 means that you ovulate on day 18. Right? Then when is fertile windows? Fertile window is 5 days before that, which is if your cycle is 32 days, then you less 14, that is 18, right? Then you less 5, then that is day 13. Day 13 to day 18, there's a fertile cycle. So that is the best time period for conceiving, right? Then what about 28 days? 28 days, day less 14, so day 14 is ovulation, and less 5, which means it's day 9. So between day 9 to day 14, that is the best conceiving cycle, right? So that is fertile windows. So now you know. Getting a normal cycle, regular cycle, is rather important. So in Chinese medicine, in fertility acupuncturist, then we need to let patient know this. If you're a patient, you need to know that. First, that's why we first get your period regular. If your period sometimes 28 days, 40 days, 22 days, then it's difficult. We can't make sure. We don't know when you ovulate. So that's first thing, using the fertility cycle, using your period bleeding cycle, menstruation cycle, to work out when your ovulation, to work out the fertile windows. Okay, that's another. Somehow we look at the sign. What sign is that? First is pain. Some people get some twitch. That maybe comes and go. It maybe just feel within a few seconds and there. In general, it happens on one side, and then the next time is there, and the next time is in here. So it's because we have woman, you have two ovaries. One is one side, the other one that side, and they release the eggs alternately. Okay, Sometimes this one, release the egg. Next one, this one, another one, something like that. Okay, they take turn to release the egg. So if and when you have a little sign, some people get pain, very painful, and it's ovulation too, but it shouldn't be a lot of pain. If you just feel a little bit, because it release the egg, it actually gives you some sensation, and some people can feel it. That's one thing. That when you can feel it, you know, oh, ovulation. So we ask all these questions to figure it out before we start treatment. So we guide patient to look at, to find out all the little signs, and those are all important. And if you want to get pregnant and increase your chance of pregnancy, fertility rate, fertility chance. Okay, and next thing is cervical mucus. Cervical mucus. All women, you probably realize that you have some cervical mucus, and that cervical mucus could be should be creamy, and then it is moved toward after period. It is moved toward to your ovulation. It become more and more and more, and it become from cloudy, and it turned to what do you call it? It was cloudy or watery, and it turned to more sticky, and it become more and more. It looks like egg white. When it's egg white, that is the best timing for conceive. The egg white condition of the cervical mucus, it help the sperm to swim. It helps the sperm to keep the sperm alive. So this is very good things. Okay, and some women they you get a lot in a month, and it actually came out itself. And sometimes you get less. And how do you know you have it? You have to actually put your finger into your vagina and then pull it out, and to find out whether you have it or not, whether it's been changed to egg white or not. Okay, so egg white is a chance to, it's a way to monitor whether you ovulated or not. The next thing, the sign is get your BBT, which is basal body temperature. You take it every morning. At the same time, you have to sleep continuing for 4 or 5 hours. Right? Can be oral test, or can be vagina test. So it becomes two different temperature. One is in lower, that's before ovulation. After ovulation, because the progesterone produced, then it become higher. So there's a drop before it actually become higher. A drop of temperature, they go down to here, and it drop even further and raise up. And then we raise up between 0.3 to 0.5 degree, then that's the best ovulation. You notice it's good. Then there's a time when you look at the drop, that means ovulation. When you look at it actually climb up already, that means you already ovulate. So with the BBT chart, and you combine the sensation in the tummy and the cervical mucus and the cycle in between, it can work out when is the best fertile cycle window. Okay, I hope this all makes sense to you. This is a little bit of knowledge that you should know if you're a fertility acupuncturist, or if you're a patient. You need to know how to work out your fertile windows. Does it make sense to you? Right. If you have any question, you can leave it down there, and I will be happy to answer anything that I know. Thank you, Veronica. And hi, happy day. How are you? Thank you for being here. So in China, we use it with master, and they just use the blood test every month to figure out whether they ovulated or not, or to check the ultrasound to look at the eggs. That I don't use it in here because we don't have the we don't have we can't access to those. You know, you have to prescribe and get the patient to do that, and we just don't do that. So normally we don't do that. Okay, but if you're in hospital, you'll be able to do that. Okay? If you're in hospital and you do fertility treatment, it's easy. In China, it's so simple for them to do that in the hospital. Okay, that's it for today, and I hope you learn something today. And please, I'll see you next time, and we will talk about more about this. Okay, is it normal for women to have mucus after sex? Yeah, of course. As long as all these mucus, they are not smelly, they are not green, they are not yellow, and that's okay. Yeah. And I'll tell you about the egg white. The egg white not just happen on ovulation time. If you're a woman, you know it. Egg white can happen after ovulation. The egg white can happen before period or right after period, you know. But these are all the signs to tell you that, hey, your body are good in a good conditions. And I'll tell you, basically we talk about, I can talk about more from my experience and from my master experience, and my patients, some of the patients share with me. And one of my masters say that, well, you never know when it's ovulation. Women can ovulate more than once monthly, but we still track it with just one a month, right? I have a patient who told me that her cousin fell pregnant before period. They got married, and the next day after the marriage, the day after, they should get period, right? The woman should get period, but they got married that night, and she missed her period, and then she got pregnant. So yeah, it's pale white. That's okay. White is egg white. Look at egg white. It's okay. Okay, so now if you have a mucus, you know, all this mucus, it shouldn't have any itchiness or things like that. You know, uncomfortable burning. If you don't have those, and it's not smell, and it's not lot, and that's okay. So yeah, there's other thing that I can share, but I don't have the time today, and I'll share it another time. Yeah, I do agree that not everyone, not every woman will follow just one ovulation monthly. It can be more than that, and there's some evidence we can track, but not many people know about this. If we have a chance, another time we can talk about it. Thank you. Bye bye.